یو گایز چطورید بچه؟ خوش اومدید به چنل من. آریوش هستم. امروز اومدیم با یه انیمه خیلی ترسناک که براساس واقعیت، انیمیشن خودکشی در خواب. بدون معطلی بریم ببینیم این انیمیشن ترسناک. من از ترس تو روز میگیرم، میدونم من یه خورده ترسام، چیکار کنم؟ بچه ها میدونن در جریانم. ولی قبلش لایک و کامنت و ساب یادتون نره. کامنت انگلیسی بذارید، ساباتون نریزه گلای من. بریم که ببینیم یه انیمیشن ترسناک. تو شب دیدم فایدی نداره به خدا، فقط خود ترس بر اندرون آدم وارد میشه.
It was on August 6th. I came back home after work thinking of taking a long sleep during the weekend. As soon as I arrived home, I washed up quickly, lay down in bed, and slept right away. And the time was around 7 p.m. But when I opened my eyes for some reason, it was at 2 a.m. I was wondering why I woke up so early, since I usually fall asleep on weekends and no one can wake me up. However, I decided to drink water while I was up anyway. So I got out of my bed, went to the kitchen, and lay in bed to sleep again. Just then, it was something furry, I think, and it touched my back. No, it can't be. I used to lie on my side and sleep. I opened my eyes for a while because
من اگه جاش بودم الله وکیل بر نمیگشتم، تا صبح نمیخواستم تق تق بزنم پشت منو. هرچند گمانم این بختکه. والا امیدواری بدید به خودتون بچه ها تو اینجور موقعیت ها. من خودم یه بار همچین چیزی رو حس کردم. توی کردم داشت نخارون خبری نیست، خارش نمیکنم.
Because of the strange feeling, but soon I decided to just ignore it without much thought. However, that was not an illusion. I could feel someone kept touching my back. It seemed to be rough, and there was even something sticky about it. My heart dropped, and I slowly looked back. There was a man lying there. I was sweating like the cold sweat was coming out of all the holes in my body. I've never seen such an awful look.
خدای پشمای آدم میریخت. من همین الان تو روز پشمام ریخته.
In my life, I could see his hair turned all.
ولی تو اینجور موقعیت ها که داره دست تکون میده، ببین تو باید با خود کنار بیای. خب ببین اونجا دو حالت داره، یا زنده میمونی یا میمیری. باید برگردی یه لحظه عاشقانه بغلش کنی، بگی این مثل این آهنگ ادل که میگه هلو. خب همینطوری هلو بگی، باهاش فیس تو فیس، لب تو لب لاو بترکونی. تهش میمیری دیگه. اگه این کارو بکنی میمیری، نکنی هم میمیری دیگه. خلاص
white. His skin all came off. His mouth and nose
ولی خدای هر چقدر که فکر میکنم از این نمیشه لب گرفت.
were all crushed that I couldn't recognize his face, and he was staring at me just like that. I opened my eyes screaming and then realized it was a dream. Because of sweating a lot, I got thirsty, so I went to the kitchen drinking some water again. I lay down thinking that that was the end of the nightmare.
این داشتیم از کربلا فرار کرده گمانم.
But it wasn't. I had to go through the same situation 2 more times. In the first dream, I also got up in surprise, but the second one was different. Somehow, I was courageous and eventually talked to the person. Why are you doing this to me? Then he beckoned to me instead of answering, and it felt as if he were asking me to follow him. If I follow you, you won't be in my dreams anymore? He nodded and headed to the kitchen. So I followed him and he pointed his finger to the refrigerator. And this time he pointed to a clear glass bottle when I opened it. He then opened his mouth and said for the first time, I know you are thirsty. Drink it. It was just a dream. However, I was so scared that I couldn't reject it. So I ended up drinking the water in the bottle. After I finished drinking, he asked me to send him off and said that he would no longer come. Unwillingly, I opened the front door and went with him. Even though my house was an apartment, there were no elevators and stairs in my dream, and we went straight out to the yard. And it was weird that my whole body began to sweat while I was walking on the flatland while sending him off.
ولی خدا وکیل فکر کردم به این چیزان ترسناک. الله وکیل دارم میگم.
I finally arrived at the front gate and tried to take a step forward to see him leaving, but I was clearly blocked by something, even though there was nothing in front of me. He kept beckoning, but it was no longer possible to move forward. Just then, I felt the water dripping on my head, and then I ended up waking up. As soon as I opened my eyes, my legs suddenly throbbed, and the moment I came to my senses, I was purely shocked. I was on the
پشمام داشته خودکشی میکرده، بختک بوده. یا بعضی وقتا آدم از این خوابا میبینه، میدونی من خودم یه بار خواب دیده بودم تو بچگی، یه چیز خیلی اینطوری حالت مشکی طور هی میومد سمتم، بعد من هر چی که دستم میرسید، یعنی دیگه زده بودم به سیم آخر، گفتم تهش مثلا ننم فوش بخورم دیگه، کاسه، بشقاب، دیگ، ملاقه، هر چی دستم میرسید سمتش پرتاب میگه و از توش رد میشد و اون همون توی میومد. اینم گمانم همون بود بابا. یا سخت نگیری، چیز ترسناکی نیست.
rooftop and kept bumping my thighs and knees on the railing that was blocking right in front of me to move forward. The rainwater woke me up, saving my life just before I was almost falling from the rooftop and killing myself. The rooftop door, which was supposed to be locked, was also open for some reason. Being terrified, I ran home without even thinking about using the elevator. I was out of breath after entering the house, so I opened the refrigerator again and started drinking water. Meanwhile, I suddenly
کوفت آب بخوری، چقدر آب میخوری تو؟
remembered the glass bottle that he made me drink in my dream. So I checked what it was, and to my surprise, it was a whiskey which I used to
اون آبی که بهش گفته بود بخور آب نبوده، شراب بوده، یه نوع ویسکی بوده که این زمانی که خوابش نمیبرده اونو میخوره، احتمالاً خواب آور بوده، واسه همین نفهمیده کجا داره.
drink when I couldn't sleep, and the bottle was definitely full until yesterday, but there was not a sip left. To sum up, I couldn't wake up because he made me drink that whiskey, and the reason I had a hard time walking when I sent him off was that I was actually walking toward the rooftop. If my body hadn't actually caught on the roof railing, I would have killed myself and said goodbye to the world. I knew that there were people who often had this experience out there, but I was really horrified when I literally experienced it myself.
تا پارت نکنه برات نمیکنه. مرسی که تا اینجای ویدیو همراه من بودید. امیدوارم لذت برده باشید و نترسیده باشید. من که اصلا نترسیدم. تو روز اصلا این ترس معنا نداره. ترس واسه شبه، واسه آدمای تنهاست. بله. لایک، کامنت و ساب یادتون نره. کامنت انگلیسی بزنید، ساباتون نریزه گلای من. تا ویدیوی بعد مواظب خودتون